Hi, everyone. Welcome to special presentation with Mike and Ethan. Or
Alf will not be seen tonight.
woo. Last week we talked about a lot of things actually, but one thing that sort of stuck with me was our discussion about Pryor's Place. Now we talked about this short-lived show starring Richard Pryor that was kind of half Sesame Street and half Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids.
Yes.
And it's very interesting to me that there are so many attempts to clone Sesame Street, some of which are very effective, some of which find a niche all their own and become something of their own. Like, I'm thinking like, say, Today's Special and Eureka's Castle. Those were some pretty good Sesame Street clones.
Right. Pinwheel, perhaps, or
Pinwheel, yeah. I was a big Pinwheel fan when I was a kid, and
yeah, plus and minus.
Oh yeah, gotcha last.
Yeah.
But on the same by the same token, Sesame Street being an educational program was it was subject to a lot of people thinking we just have to do something dumb for kids and they'll just eat it up, and they were totally wrong.
Apparently, kids
However,
kids have standards.
Kids do have standards. Kids will not just eat whatever you put in front of them. And adults even less so, which is why there are so much fewer attempts to clone The Muppet Show.
Now, I can't think of very many attempts to clone The Muppet Show at all, to be honest.
I think, if you try and think of things that are kind of on the same level as The Muppet Show, a lot of them, I think, ended up there, unintentionally, perhaps maybe not by accident, but the Muppet Show connections are more more coincidental than you might think. One of my all-time favorites, I don't know if you were a fan, but in the 2000s, I loved the Syphil and Ollie show.
Oh, yes, I am familiar with Syphil and Ollie. I never really thought of them as a Muppet Show clone, though. They really seem so much their own thing.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes them an effective, attempt at the same kind of thing as the Muppet Show, in that, the Muppet Show, what made it so great was that it was Jim Henson getting to be himself on camera, unfiltered. And Syphil and Ollie was very much like that, because it was Liam Lynch, Ollie, and Matt Crocco, Syphil, just mouthing off in front of the microphone and then setting it to puppets afterward. It's basically what we're doing here. Syphil and Ollie was basically a comedy podcast.
Oh, man.
But with sock puppets.
We should get someone to perform us with sock puppets.
Yes, we absolutely. Once we get that new theme song, we should also get some puppets.
Yeah. We know so many puppeteers and puppet making people.
We know a lot.
Yeah. Why don't they get on this? Do this thing for us.
No. Yes, without us having asked in the first place.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh my God. Yeah, for real. Well, we have the worst fans. They never do anything for us. I guess they just don't love us. I guess they hate us and want us to die. Whatever. I don't care. It's fine. Whatever.
Okay, Dana.
Oh, roasted. Real heads no. Anyway, we were speaking of the Muppets, but not the real Muppets, the Ersatz Muppets, the Muppets, if you were.
Yes, the false Muppets.
Yes.
I mean, there are a lot of attempts at cloning the Muppets. One that always strikes me as kind of hilarious is that there's like a local Muppet kind of clone group, like in Missouri or something, started by a puppeteer named Ken something or other, so they called the Kenuppets.
That sounds very Canadian rather than Missourian, but
yeah, the Kenuppets.
So but here's a question for you. What actually would make something a Muppet clone? Would it just have to involve puppets, or would it have to involve kind of a fake vaudeville style spectacular?
I would say that if you want it, the first step to making a good Muppet Show knockoff would be to have, a different theme entirely from, the Muppets putting on this nightly show in this old British dance hall, You know, a lot of people would think that the old British dance hall would actually be, endemic to the process. Like you couldn't do it unless they had like a base of operations.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, okay. Let's make one up now. If you had a, if you were going to create your own Muppet series, what setting would you put it in?
Oh, well, let's see. I guess it wouldn't be vaudeville anymore because vaudeville is, has been taken. And
Nah.
well, I
Where do people do that now?
do they?
I guess it's YouTube,
Yeah,
right?
they do like streaming, don't they? So
Yeah.
wait, so what if you did a Muppet Show now? I feel like you would almost like we're gonna make a fake video game and have a puppet just comment on it. Someone's got to have done
that's a
that.
good idea.
Someone must be doing that right now. There's no way. Oh, because in fact, in that sense, if you think about it, anyone who's doing the thing where they just rig like they rig like a computer generated character to appear on screen and talk for them, they're basically doing the Muppet Show now, the new Muppet Show. I'm gonna.
So Arlo is kind of the ultimate evolution of the Muppets at this point.
Oh, who's Arlo?
Oh, you haven't seen Arlo? He's he does Nintendo news, but he is in fact a blue furry puppet with googly eyes.
Oh, okay.
He's actually very good.
I am not familiar with him, but yes.
He's nice. I like him.
Oh, I feel like actually it would be very funny to do like you make a fake video game, okay, wait, I got it. So it's this new Muppet Show. It's a Muppet video game streamer, right? So first the streamer is a Muppet, right? And he's playing a video game. The video game is also all puppets, right? But like done to look like video game stuff. So it'll be like maybe you can design them to look pixelated or something, but they're literally made of foam rubber, right? And oh no, I'm moving it here. I gotta chomp the power pellet or something. And how the Muppets, they always like do that. You're basically just acting out a video game, but doing it puppet way, with puppets. I bet there'd be I'm sure someone must be doing this, or something similar, right?
Oh shit! And if they're not, well, okay, nobody steal this idea because this is a great idea.
This is a good one. Now we just need to get some puppets. This sounds so hard. I am tired. Somebody do this work for us. All right, I guess we got to get to work actually making puppets. So, we'd have to do it Muppet-wise, where we'd have to each create our own puppet, which represents us, Actually, this is a good idea. We should totally do this. Except now we have to learn how to make puppets.
I was making puppets when I was 13. I can learn it again.
Oh, okay. Well, how many... okay, all right, let's do this. We're gonna put a pin in this. We're gonna invent puppets for ourselves. This is what adult people do. We're adults, so we're gonna make this is the future. We're gonna make puppets. Okay, but why are we talking about knockoff Muppet shows today?
Oh, well, the reason we're talking about knockoff Muppet shows is because we, inspired by our discussion about Pryor's Place, we looked at Hanna Barbera's attempt to create their own Muppet Show. Their incredibly lame attempt to create their own Muppet Show.
It's the Beagle Show.
Yes, the Beegle Show. This was lost media until just recently. It was finally discovered a couple of years ago. It first premiered on Canada's CTV on November 22nd, my brother's birthday, 1979, and then aired on several TV stations across the United States around January 1980, the time when I was born. And then appeared occasionally on local stations as late as September. But wow, you can really see why Beebee Beagle exists as a pilot and nothing more.
So there's only a single episode ever made of Beebee Beagle.
The Beebee Beagle Show. What do you think the BB stands for?
Berkeley Breathed.
Black Bart Beagle.
Yeah. Oh. Bonkers Bobcat Beagle. Yeah. So Beebee Beagle. So this is the Beebee Beagle Show. Is when we say it's a Muppet Show clone, it's very Muppet. It's a television show, not a vaudeville theater production. That seems to be the main difference here.
Yeah, it seems, because the Muppet Show was created at about the time when Laugh-In was the biggest thing in the world, and you can see a lot of the Laugh-In influence on the Muppet Show. This one wears it even more on its sleeve.
But here's the difference. Whereas the Muppet Show was an improvement on Laugh-In, because Laugh-In is not funny.
No.
In fact, Laugh-In is interesting because it really shows it really makes you think about what comedy was in the 60s, because because it's just like, oh my god, what if a guy said "sock it to me"? It's the funniest thing in the world, and then a pie hit him, and it's like, is it really? Is that the level?
What if somebody said, "Here come the judge"?
Yeah, it's like, this is the level of humor that is not just acceptable, but like extraordinary to the people of the late 60s. They were like, I can't get enough of this. It's hilarious. Yes. And it's like, okay.
This is from an era when the height of comedy was to say, "Get me out of here."
There was apparently another TV series. Have you heard of Turn On?
I have heard of Turn On, but I couldn't tell you anything about it.
So Turn On was apparently another attempted comedy series in the vein of Laugh-In. I believe it was made by the people who made Laugh-In, and they said, we got a new series for you. It's going to be hilarious. It's called Turn On, and it is such a complete failure that it was canceled during its initial broadcast. So
wow.
Not even one episode was aired, half an episode, and they cut it. Apparently, and which is interesting, because I was like, wait a minute, so you're telling me that like in the late, and like I think it was early 70s, before the internet, people were so outraged at this television show that they looked up the phone number for the studio, called up to register their complaints immediately. That's how much people hated this show. Now you can see the show. It's actually on the Turn On Wikipedia page, so you can watch the entire only existing episode of Turn On. And I will say this: it's fascinating to think that people thought Laugh-In was funny and this was not, because they're both just dire, The only difference I think is that I think what really happened was, what's interesting is Turn On mentions like most people complained it was too sexy, too sexualized, too too much of the sex in it. And I watched it, and it's like, okay, there's a one reference to like the birth control pill, and there's one bit where there's like the word sex is on the screen, and like a man and a woman are kind of like looking googly eyed at each other, and then the woman walks away, and then the S disappears from the word and it just says X, and it's like, oh, I guess I get it. They broke up. And I think what really happened was people were just like, they were like, this show is really like, it's just not funny, but they were embarrassed to admit they didn't get it, because it's like, oh, this hip young humor for the young people. I don't want to admit that like I don't get it. So I'm just going to pretend that I'm actually scandalized by this incredibly lame sexual content. Anyway.
Wow. It is the 70s equivalent of complaining about internet porn addiction.
Yes.
Completely made up.
Yes. That's my opinion about Turn On. But like, I'll just say, Turn On is not funny. It's almost as not funny as the Beebee Beagle show.
Oh boy. But that takes a little effort. I mean, there are a couple of parts of the Beebee Beagle show that I think are okay. But they mostly seem to be attempts to set up a running gag for future episodes.
I am fascinated by the Beebee Beagle show, because watching it, I can't put my finger right now, having watched it once, on the je ne sais quoi. Like, I can't tell you, why does this suck so bad, but the Muppet Show doesn't? Like, what is the actual thing that makes the difference? It's. I
would argue that one of them is, competency on on characterization on the Muppet Show's part.
Okay, well that is true, because if you ask me to, I have a very clear image in my head of like the personality of like Kermit the Frog, Miss Piggy, Fonzie, Gonzo, Rolf.
Yep.
I think most of the
Sam, the Swedish Chef.
Yeah, most
the
of
whole
them.
band. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're mostly pretty well defined. Even when you get to like ones like, what Zoot, or Zoot.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you don't start getting to kind of like, to the generic Muppets. So you get down to like New Zealand,
Yeah. Wayne and Wanda.
Yeah, the worst Muppets. I'm sorry, I don't know who was all like, oh, New Zealand. That's my guy. That's the guy I want to bring to this show. It's like,
well, he's more a running gag than a character.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I am a big fan of the scene in the movie where he said, "Mr. the Frog, we all took a vote and we agreed a celebrity is not a people."
I mean, that's good. It's a good line, but it's one of those things where it's like, it could, I guess New Zealand is. Does he? I guess he's something.
Yeah.
I would say like Crazy Harry is kind of in the same boat, but Crazy Harry does have a very defined personality. I know what he's about. He's crazy.
Well, that's because Crazy Harry is actually a caricature of somebody on staff.
Well, that explains a lot.
Yes. His original name was Crazy Donald, and he was modeled on their puppet builder and special effects maven, Don Celine, who was in fact known to set up explosions to surprise people around the office.
Well, no wonder he is crazy. What a crazy guy.
Yeah, he also supposedly set up a hose with a funnel running over the ceiling of the producer, Jerry Jewell, and waited for him to get comfortable in his seat for half an hour, and then went to the other side of the hose and started going, Jerry Jewell.
How did he react?
He was kind of a monster, honestly, but...
I mean, it is funny, though. It's funny because it's not happening to me.
Yes.
Okay, so the Muppets, they've got more defined personalities.
And, I think the reason for that is because at the time it was, one person, one Muppet. Mm-hmm. If you were performing the Muppet, they were yours to, define the personality for. So many of the Muppet... so many Muppet characters were defined basically on camera just kind of by improvisation. One of the most famous examples is that they had this sketch where Gonzo was auditioning dancing chickens for his act, and they were all terrible. But then at the very end, Dave Goelz has Gonzo look at the camera and go, "Nice legs, though." And that evolved into, Gonzo's kind of understated chicken fetish that became a major part of his character.
Yeah, I guess that the fact that they were able to learn and grow as a family is a big thing that really helps the Muppets, be what the Muppets are. So I guess
this is something you do not get with the Beagle show, specifically because the credits include 5 puppeteers and 3 voice actors doing all the puppets. So the puppeteers are not performing their own puppets. They're just flapping the hands, and the voice actors are not really, there is no connection between the performer and the voice. This is something I've complained about a lot in regards to the newer episodes of Mystery Science Theater. Where you have multiple puppets doing Tom Servo, a character who used to have one moving part, his mouth. So they have 5 different people doing Tom Servo at once. And then there's his voice actor who is not one of the puppeteers.
Oh, that's... Yeah, I feel like you might lose a little something there.
Yeah, I really do. It feels like the characters are, overperformed at this point.
Right. Well, I think that does make sense because there are a couple bits in this where Beebee Beagle himself, he's the MC of the Beebee Beagle show, and he's a dog, as you might expect.
Yes.
He performs well. There's our special guest star for this episode of the Beebee Beagle show is Janet from Three's Company, Joyce DeWitt.
Yes, that's right. That's the other reason we're watching this, because she was in our last thing. She was in Saturday's The Place.
Yes, so this is her other claim to fame, the Beebee Beagle show. And I mean, I don't know. I guess in 1979 she was a pretty hot commodity. So maybe this it's funny watching now. You're kind of like, really? That's your guest star? That's for your pilot? Okay. But but she's performing, and there's this kind of gag that Beebe Beagle is, kind of in love with her. So he pretends to be like the masked masher, who is a
Yeah.
kind of a like a kind of a Lothario type character, like Zorro. The secret. Well, he's like, oh, no one knows his name, but he sure is a ladies' man. That kind of thing. I don't know why Max Masher is the thing they call him. Maybe that meant something.
Oh, you haven't heard the phrase masher before?
I have never heard that phrase.
It's kind of old fashioned. They actually make a joke about that in one of the Oz books.
Oh, so what is a masher then?
A masher is somebody who hits on girls.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yes.
Makes more sense.
Yes, I remember a Garfield strip where Arlene says, "How about a kiss goodnight?" And he kisses his own arm a few times, and she's like, "Masher."
Huh. Okay. I've never heard this turn of phrase, so I just assumed it's like, oh, it's probably someone who like does the monster mash or something. It's a graveyard smash after all. So the masked masher, he comes and he's kind of like, he sings her a song, and then later in the episode, she's all like, I love the masked masher, but I don't like you, BB Beagle. And he's like, well, maybe I am the masked masher. I'll prove it by singing the same song again. And he sings the same song. And it's when he sings the song, it's really weird because his expression does not match the movement of his mouth, because he's one of those puppets. He can, the eyes can, his brow can move, kind of like
yes.
Who's the puppet that can do that? I guess Gonzo can kind of do that.
Yeah, Gonzo has moving eyes. Bert can, I don't know if he can close his eyes to the point where that BB Beagle can, but he can pull his eyebrow down and sort of rumple in anger.
Yeah. And so BB Beagle has the same ability.
Yeah.
And
okay, if you were a 90s kid, remember those Pooch Patrol dolls where it was a dog with a mild expression and you could flip down his eyebrows to make him look fierce?
Oh,
that's how BB Beagle works.
Yeah, I do remember those actually. So yeah, but the thing is, during this bit when he's singing, the movement of his eyes doesn't really match the song, the lyrics, and the movement, the mouth movement. So it's a little off, and it's kind of weird looking. I really noticed it in that one scene. There may be other parts as well where he's not quite on. And that makes sense, knowing that the voice actor and the puppeteer were not the same. We're not in sync.
Yes. I mean, let's talking about the puppet design. I think BB is a pretty badly designed puppet because, he's clear. They were clearly going for like a cartoon dog design, but the problem is they gave him these expressive eyes, and he has this enormous bulbous nose that means he can't really look at you. It's like he has 3 pupils when he looks right at the camera.
Yeah, he's not. I wouldn't say. He's not a particularly good puppet. He's fine, I guess, but like there's not a lot of character in the design,
No. I mean, this is Hanna Barbera. They are the dog people. They're
right.
like, if you don't have a dog in your cartoon, you will.
Yeah.
Oh, you will have a dog.
You will have a dog.
Or you're not going to have a cartoon, motherfucker.
But I mean, if you look at, I feel like if you look at Rolf, you're like, I can get something just out of his look.
Yeah. Ralph is a very well-designed puppet, and he doesn't look nearly as much like a cartoon dog as BB Beagle does.
Yeah.
I remember that when we watched Dog City, that he kind of looked out of place among all these other Muppet dogs.
Yeah. BB Beagle, I feel like when you just look at the design, you don't get a whole lot. You're just kind of like, oh, okay, there's a dog, I guess. I mean, a puppet like that would need to have a performance that really highlights the personality. It doesn't really have, because Beebee Beagle isn't, how a cartoon character should be parsable from silhouette. Beebee Beagle doesn't really have that.
Not really, no.
I don't really feel like we got a lot of personality from Beebee Beagle. I don't know.
No, apart from that, he's really horny.
He is very horny. I get the impression he's kind of like Kermit. He's a long-suffering MC. Not MC. Yeah, Master of Ceremonies. He's trying to, wrangle all these wacky characters.
But the rest of the characters aren't really all that wacky.
They really aren't, and he doesn't do a whole lot of wrangling. He seems, he's got that one. He's got that one lady dog character.
The producer's girlfriend.
Yes,
as revealed by the public flasher.
Yes, and
that's actually my favorite character, is the guy who who sidles on like a public flasher to reveal a secret message.
Yeah. I was. He's basically Lefty, except looks like a shrew. Yeah, he's entertaining. He doesn't really talk. He communicates in signs like Wile E. Coyote. But
it's always the quiet ones that people pick up on.
Yeah. But yeah, there's also this lady dog, Zula, or Zila, I think her name is, and she looks like if they were like, we're gonna make Janet into a dog. I think is really
she's got the Janice eyes that don't open.
Yeah. Oh, Janice. Sorry, did I say Janice or? They say Janet.
You said Janet.
Janet. Sorry,
like
Janice.
Janet.
Yeah, Janice. Sorry, I was confused because Janet from Three's Company is here. Maybe no.
Oh yeah.
Janice from the band in the Muppets. She's got the same eyes.
From the Electric Mayhem.
She's got the long hair. She's definitely got this very kind of a Cher look. I feel like
she's got a nose that looks like a bowling pin.
Yeah.
So I guess she's I don't know. She's a Borzoi or something?
Yeah. I mean, I actually feel like she's a better puppet than Beebee Beagle because she's interesting to look at. And I kind of felt like, oh, yeah, just looking at her, I could guess that she has a personality. I would have expected probably more of a Janice type personality because she looks like Janice. But, she's kind of she's kind of a Miss Piggy type character, I guess.
Yes, a little bit. Which, makes it funny that she's, that she appears to be a Borzoi, and we associate Borzois online with the impression of Miss Piggy going, "Let me do it for you."
So it's very appropriate if you think about it.
Yes.
But so she is. Why were we talking about her?
She's the producer's girlfriend.
Yes.
But
so she is the one that Beebee Beagle wrangles the most. But it's mostly just he's kind of like Kermit. He's he is kind of exasperated by the shenanigans going on. But I feel like the difference is Kermit gets very Kermit is a he gets agitated. You could Kermit, at the end of after a lot of things going on, Kermit will be flailing around and screaming and doing, like he does,
right.
Or he's like, "No, it's not a cookie," like that. Whereas Beebee Beagle just seems to get really depressed.
Yeah, he's easily crushed. And Kermit famously, I think it was, who was it? Was it Julie Andrews who said that he's the only one around here that isn't crazy? And he said, "Me not crazy. I hired all the others."
Yeah. Well, that's the Kermit is he's the balancing force of the Muppets. He's the root chakra that keeps us all grounded. And
yes, he embraces the chaos even if it doesn't look like he does.
Yeah.
Because because as the movies really really established, what makes the Muppets what they are is that Kermit believes in all of them. He absolutely feels that everyone here is a star and he is excited to show them off. Even if he's not always hot on whatever Gonzo's next ridiculous act is.
Yeah. And that's I think probably one of the things about the Muppets that makes them work so much. Not just that they are the very, well, maybe it is actually part of this. They are the very personal creations of their creator, and they work because, like, even though I would say the Muppets are not the funniest bunch, not the funniest. Right.
No.
The humor on the Muppets, it might be a little broad, a lot of like, oh, something blew up, someone hits.
I mean,
yeah.
I love the Muppet Show, but they do use a laugh track.
Yes. So,
Except when the Swedish chef is on screen. Then the laughter you hear is genuine.
Yeah. Well, give the people what they want. And
yeah.
I think though probably a big selling point of the Muppets is they do and they really harp on this in the movies a lot more, is they are a family. They feel like a family. They feel like I think a big part of the Muppet Show is very similar to the appeal of Star Trek. It's like, what if you had a job that didn't suck? What if your coworker? What if you liked
like
your coworkers?
Futurama,
Yeah. What if your boss wasn't the jerk? That's the basic thing is, it goes a long
exactly.
way.
This is like what they said about G.I. Joe, where the fantasy isn't that you have guns. The fantasy is that you have a bunch of friends who've always got your back.
Yeah. So I think that is the understated appeal of the Muppets, and I feel like probably if you spoke to most people who like the Muppets, they wouldn't even think of that. That wouldn't even cross their mind, because it is very subtle, especially in the series where, they don't talk a lot. They don't spend a lot of time saying like, oh, I'm so glad you're my friend.
We're like
Muppets
a family.
stick together.
In fact,
yeah.
Famously, there was that scene in the Muppets Salute Jim Henson where one of the celebrities says that, and Gonzo and Robin start arguing. She says we're like a family. We are not. Yes, we are. We are not like a family. And she has to yell at them to shut up. So.
Yeah. So, I think that really is something that, now maybe it's unfair to judge the Beagle show since we only get one episode, but you don't get a whole lot. It's just, it feels like, well, I guess I don't feel like there's a lot of, maybe the issue here is in the Muppet Show, we get a lot of backstage interactions between the skits.
Yes.
And I don't think we get that in the Beagle show very much.
No, instead they're cutting to other people's reactions to the show.
Yeah. There's this diner where these two kind of big goon type guys are watching, and
yeah. And they've got this elderly rat with them that is being put upon for his reaction.
Yeah, they basically are just like, oh, I love this show. I hate this show. Well, what if I beat up this rat? No, I'll beat him up first. And that's their bit.
Yeah.
But, but I guess, so we don't get a lot of, because of this, we don't really get to know the characters of Beagle very well.
Not very much, no. We have... which puppets interact with each other? There's Beebee and Zula and Slick, the public flasher.
Yes.
And let's see. We've got there's this alligator who talks like Templeton.
Oh yeah, and I actually thought he was supposed to sound like Charles Nelson Riley, but like
that too. Yeah.
But yeah, he's got a very Paul Lynde type voice. I think his name is Martini, because at the very end,
Martini,
or something. Because at the end, when he's doing a magic trick, he calls himself the Great Martini. So something like Martin, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, there's this alligator. He's in a couple skits because he does this skit about like football players.
Yeah. Okay, this we should also talk about this show's large puppets. The show has two notable large puppets, but one of them appears in at least 4 different iterations.
Yeah.
There's these giant football bears.
Yeah.
This is an example of over puppeting, because these bears have eyes that move back and forth, and they are doing it constantly, like Kit Kat clocks.
Yeah, but otherwise they kind of look a little amateurish,
Yeah.
Like, they're not like awful. They just look like they've got like, the big kind of felt triangular teeth sticking out of their mouths, and it's not like terrible or anything, but I kind of was looking at them like, yeah, they really look like puppets that, like, you made in grade school or something.
Uh-huh. You can tell that the human puppeteer's head is in their hunchback.
Yeah, yeah. And they show up a lot. They got a lot of mileage out of these guys because they did have four of them. So
I mean, they're pretty expensive to build, I'm sure. So they must have been like, yeah, we got to use them as much as possible. And in fact, these two and the other full body puppet are the only ones that appeared outside of the Beebee Beagle show.
Really? So what did they appear in besides the Beagle?
They also appeared in this special that also ran in 1979 called Yabba Dabba Doo 2.
Is it about the Flintstones?
It's about, it seems to be just sort of like, a salute to Hanna Barbera by Hanna Barbera.
Oh, well, who else is going to salute them?
Yeah. Well, it was certainly not Disney. But
nope.
Yeah. But Yabba Dabba Doo 2, which makes me think it's like, what is this, like Vatican II?
That's when they got rid of the they started, now you can Yabba Dabba Doo in the Vulgate.
Yeah, Yabba Dabba at the Yabba Dabba Doo 2 event, a whole bunch of the laws of the cartoon universe were altered, so that's why owls no longer have to always wear graduation caps.
It was very controversial at the time.
Yeah, and many owls still wear graduation caps because they're kind of orthodox that way.
Yeah. But, J.D. Vance rejects Yabba Dabba Doo too. I think he converted to traditional cartoonism. So he's like that's why he gets real mad if he sees like a cartoon black person that doesn't look like a Bimbo the dog. Because he gets real mad if any sort of non-racist cartoon he's if you draw he doesn't like it if you do the what was it if you have a skeleton that like you can't play xylophone on, I guess. I don't know. What was an old-timey cartoon? He gets mad when a tree doesn't sexually harass Betty Boop.
He gets mad when a spider or octopus plays the piano and doesn't sound like Fats Waller.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to get put on the no-fly list for this episode.
Yeah, he considers that woke.
Yeah.
But
well, actually, it'll probably, considering the planes are falling out of the sky, it's probably doing us a favor to like, you're not allowed to fly anymore. We'll be on like that Time Life the Unexplained commercial. Two internet podcasters were put on the no-fly list. Afterwards, planes fell out of the sky. Coincidence? Find out more in Time Life's the Unexplained.
Read the book.
Yeah. Oh, they should bring those back. Anyway.
Yes.
But Beebee Beagle of
Beebee Beagle. Yes. So yeah, the Yabba Dabba Doo 2 special starts with these football bears in their football uniforms lumbering through this sort of gallery of pictures of Hanna-Barbera characters and sort of stumbling and slapping each other. And then they just kind of wander past the host and then he begins the show. And yeah, it's like that's kind of pointless. And then over the end credits, seemingly apropos of nothing, is a freeze frame of Bubbles in this same gallery of Hanna-Barbera characters.
I guess.
No.
Okay.
Bubbles is interesting because this show also has a secret word, not unlike Pee-wee's Playhouse. But if you say the secret word, everybody doesn't scream. Instead, a giant monster appears and vores you.
Yes. So Bubbles is
I was not expecting a monster like Bubbles, I must say.
Yeah, it reminds you a little bit of that woolly mammoth monster we got in the Hug-a-Bunch.
Yeah.
But instead of shooting fire out of its head, it blows steam and I think bubbles.
Yeah, it burps out bubbles and belches steam out of its Shrek-like tube ears.
Yeah,
and also it's cranium squishes up and down in a very disturbing manner.
Yeah,
It also appears to be wearing an aquatic mask like the pukas from Dig Dug.
yeah, it's very hard to really parse this thing. When I was looking at it, I was just kind of like, I guess if the great,
What am I looking at here?
yeah, I was like, I mean, I guess it's
They were
like,
just like, just keep making one puppet until your budget runs out.
yeah, it's very Wang Dang Dilly-esque. Really kind of. It looks like if the Great Gazoo was a hippopotamus, I guess. I don't really know how to describe this thing.
Yeah, it's covered in green shag, has a mouth like a hippopotamus, and I guess its eyes blink, but not very well.
Yeah, it's there's a this is a choice. There's a lot of choices going on in this. I think again, this whole concept really. This really, again, well, I guess it just shows that they were not very clear on what the BB Beagle show really is. Because, the Muppet Show, it's like, okay, they're putting on a vaudeville show. That makes sense to me, right? And the BB Beagle show seems to be that they're putting on a televised variety show, kind of like Meet the Feebles.
Yeah.
But they have a secret word like Pee-wee's Playhouse, which is an odd thing to have on a televised comedy variety show. And the secret word isn't just for people saying on the show. If you, the home audience, say the secret word, you also get eaten by a monster. So it's kind of like, okay, what is the concept here? I think VV, they were like, it doesn't matter, who cares? It's a puppet show. It's fun. It's funny. Don't think about it. Turn off your brain. But
yeah, just turn off your brain and enjoy it.
I mean, I will accept a certain amount of surreal bullshit in my comedy, but this just feels a little thrown together to me. Like they weren't quite clear. It feels like like a small child writing the script. Like, dude, a monster shows up, and it's my favorite thing for Pee-wee's Playhouse happens, and then a monster happens, and then it gets everyone and eats them. Why not? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at least Bubbles is an interesting puppet.
Yes, I mean, it's definitely the most interesting puppet of this crew here.
The football bears. I feel like. I guess they were like, we like having this goon squad of 4 identical bears, because we're going to do this football gag a lot. But I feel like if you're going to spend a lot of money on 4 giant puppets, they should each be different,
Yes, I agree. They should be different, and also they should be able to have, other roles besides, football players.
Yeah, like these puppets seem a little limited because they have clearly been designed as just goons. And it's like Sweetums can fill the goon role.
Sweetums has a lot of options with him. You can use him as a goon, but he's also been the star of various musical numbers and stuff. So of course he was not built for the Muppet Show. He was built for the Frog Prince.
Oh, really? That was his debut, huh?
Yes, as was Robin's, and that's why they're often paired together.
Oh, okay. Well, that fits nicely. I guess he's slotted into the Muppets quite nicely, though.
Yes.
They
made a couple of other ones. Okay, let's see. Thog was not created for the Muppet Show. He was created for the Great Santa Claus Switch. But there is a third giant monster called Timmy Monster, who was, I think, made for the Muppet Show.
Timmy Monster, you say?
Yes, he's dark blue with green fur. I remember him. I think his best moment was when he made Zero Mostel disappear.
Oh, okay. I don't think I remember this.
He also helped Piggy stretch out some shoes by wearing them and then running around the block. And when he gave them back, they were like sleeping bags for her.
Okay. But yeah, so these characters have a little more. Like they're a little more useful than these bear goons who really, don't.
I guess they could only afford to pay someone to design one giant puppet, but build 4 of them.
Yeah. Now we have a couple skits that they put on in the BB Beagle show, and one of them is this football skit where the alligator is like the coach and the bears are like the team, and I guess he's giving them kind of a pep talk. Uh,
And we have another human. It's Art Johnson from Laugh-In.
well, Laugh-In was big at the time, so
Yep.
there he is. There's your connection. Um,
Uh-huh.
uh,
And there's no announcement of him as a guest star. He's just there.
yeah.
So I wonder if he was going to be a regular on the show. Just like, it's like, yeah, we actually have a human. We call it diversity in hiring.
Wow, I can't believe the BB Beagle show went woke. There is another. Well, there's another character. He's like that polar bear announcer.
Yeah.
And he hangs out with a human too. Is that the same guy? I can't remember.
Yeah, that's Art Johnson again.
Okay.
In the role of a translator, which feels like a Swedish chef ripoff.
Yeah, because he's translating the polar bear into just gibberish, I believe. The polar bear is kind of I guess a Guy Smiley type character, you might say.
Yeah, kind of Guy Smiley, kind of Link Hogthrob. He's supposed to be a guy with a big basso profundo AM voice. But honestly, he just looks like a blanket.
Yeah, it's not the best puppet. It's fine, I guess. But yeah, so he's the announcer. We also have there is a there's a oh no. Did it just
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
We're back.
Right.
To talk, the audio equipment is objecting to us talking about the BB Beagle show. It doesn't like it. It's like, why are you talking about this?
It thinks it ought to be illegal and
it is
should
not
be shut
legal,
down,
according to this. Yeah, that's in the theme song, isn't it? It ought to be illegal. Sure is regal. It's BB Beagle show. It's I guess I can't. I've already forgotten the theme song, so I can't really compare it to the Muppet Show.
It's basically they rephrased the Muppet Show. They found other ways to say it's time to play the music. It's time to light the lights.
Yeah. Well, Hanna Barbera was never shy about just wholesale ripping stuff off.
Nope.
They were like, oh, you like the Smurfs? Well, here's the Snorks. You like the Snorks? Well, here's the Paw Paw Bears. You like the Paw Paw Bears? Here's the Biscuits. So on and so forth.
At least the Snorks was actually based on another Belgian comic book.
Oh, was it? I didn't know that.
Yeah. I'm sure it was, they had the success of the Smurfs in mind when they created Snorky. But
yeah, makes sense. Okay, so we were speaking of these puppets, and I was just about to say that there is a sexy fox puppet among the crew.
This is the single best puppet, actually.
Yeah. What does she have a name? I cannot remember if she's got a name.
I don't believe she was ever addressed by name, but she has one particular feature that I think is very interesting, but at the same time, I feel like it was not necessary. Mm-hmm. Because, see, the way she works is we see her doing this sketch where she's answering phones, and she is holding up her tail like a feather boa.
Yes.
And the way this works is that her tail is in fact her arm control rod. And I'm like, okay, that's actually really clever, but at the same time, her other arm control rod is just right there.
Yeah, it's a cool little thing. It reminds me of in if you ever see Rango, Angelica, I think is the fox lady uses her tail as a feather boa. So. So it's a neat little thing, but she's kind of underused as a puppet.
She only gets to appear in this one sketch.
She is, obviously she's supposed to be the hot one. She's kind of, I guess she's supposed to be kind of a bimbo. That's the impression I got from this though. Though she's got that, her voice is very June Foray-esque. So
yeah. So, kind of June Foray, kind of Arlene Sorkin.
Yeah. So she doesn't really communicate like Ditz in the way that I
No.
would, but I got what they were going for. She's also kind of she's made out of like her material is I guess they really wanted her to look like she had fox fur because she's very fluffy.
Yeah. She's uh-huh. The other characters are not so fluffy. In fact, most of them have that kind of blanket look like the polar
Yeah,
bear.
yeah. Um,
You see this especially in the incredibly brief disco segment. It's like 15 seconds.
mm,
Oh, she's in that too, but we zoom in on a couple of characters who make this incredibly, lame joke, and one of them is like a quick clone of Zula, but with different eyes.
mm.
And there's this moose that's with her that really looks like they just hollowed out a stuffed animal they bought off the rack.
Oh, what is the joke? I remember it was not good, but I.
It's like, you dance divinely. No wonder you're standing on my feet. Groovy,
Oh,
baby.
that's not really a joke, but yeah, I mean,
That's barely a
it's
joke.
like okay, yeah, it's yeesh.
That's the joke the AI wrote.
Yeah, that's pretty dire. But it's better than the uglies.
Oh my god, the uglies. Okay, out of all of the attempts to clone the Addams family, the uglies might be the worst ever.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, imagine there's a family, the Uglies, and their bit is they're puppets. They look like those things that hang out in the trash heap in Fraggle Rock.
Yes, they're all just generic monsters.
Yep. And their bit is they think bad things are good. So
And good things are
yeah.
bad.
So
The thing about the uglies is that this sketch was clearly written for 3 characters, but they decided to make it 4 because you have mom ugly, dad ugly, and 2 kid uglies, but they always have the exact same lines at the exact same
yeah.
time.
I mean, I guess maybe because they wanted to do the joke that the kids are named Wart and Hog.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like, are they supposed to be Siamese twins? But they separate frequently, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's like it's like, oh yeah, a warthog is kind of ugly. I guess. I don't know why your name. Okay, I just don't get it.
That's not even.
But yeah, it's just like
that is the AI talking again.
Hey, you came home. You better slam the door. We're gonna eat some gross stuff for dinner. It's just stuff like that. It's pretty lame. It's just it's not. There's not.
It's almost kind of hilarious in its lameness. This whole show feels like a show that would be watched by the main characters of some other show. It feels like Tommy Pickles should be watching this show.
Yeah. It's very much like Krusty appearing in the Big Ear Family on The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just like there's not. I mean, it's just I think. Yeah, it's the jokes are not good. They are. I think like another thing is because if there's lame jokes on the Muppets, which happens now and again, they have some less ideal moments. But I think one of the things about the Muppets that really makes even a lot of their lesser jokes work is the performances. You get like Kermit making that face at the camera, when he's like kind of like, or like Piggy kind of like, speaking under her breath and stuff like that really makes it work, even if like, the characters sell the jokes. And
yeah, here they're just reciting.
Yeah. It's just like, they're just reciting the jokes. The characters don't have a lot, like we said, they don't have a lot of personality, and they also are. It isn't very clear what roles they play because in the Muppet Show, you know pretty quickly. Kermit's the MC, Fozzie is a comedian, Gonzo is a daredevil. You know what most of them are there to do. And in this show, I'm like, okay, is the alligator usually a magician or is that just a one-off thing? And what is Slick doing? They have just a guy who's a flasher. They employ a flasher on the show. Like, most of them, they just feel like, okay, these are part of ensemble, but they don't have a specific role that they do, So it makes it a little harder to get a handle on what they're supposed to be in the show.
if there's a place that's employing public flashers, let me know. I am open to the role.
Do you feel like you could make an impression?
Yeah, I would, especially if I can, have a sign on my naked body that says "producer's girlfriend." That'll just make it even more puzzling if they're without context.
That's gonna be the puppet that you make for our puppet show.
Yeah, producer's
girlfriend.
That's his name.
Oh, okay. So, yeah. So there's a lot of just the BB Beagle show doesn't have a lot to offer. It's not like the worst thing I've ever seen, but it is very much just like, oh, that was on? Okay.
It's one of those things that became lost media, not necessarily because they were trying to disappear it. It's just that nobody cared.
Yeah. I assume with a pilot, you're supposed to put your best foot forward. And if this is their best foot, then it's like, yeah, we don't really need a lesser Muppet Show.
No. Oh, here's another puppet I forgot about. The mole. He seems to be like a stagehand.
Oh, that's right. Does the mole have any lines? I
don't think he speaks at all, no.
I do actually like the mole. I think the mole has a very cool design because he kind of actually looks like a mole.
Yeah. Actually, I wasn't sure if he was a mole or a sloth at first, but yeah I'm pretty sure he's a mole judging by those thick glasses.
Yeah, and he's got like when he comes out at the end with the
amazing martini.
Yeah. Like he's pushing the magician's cabinet, and you can see he's got those kind of big bald mole hands that the big digging claw. So it's kind of like it's a neat design. They don't use them enough, and I think there might be other puppets that we see briefly in an ensemble, but like don't really get any.
They show at least one who's like a blue monster with one tooth, but we never actually see him on the show.
Yeah, it's kind of like the opening credits to Tasmania, where they're like, "Here's 36 new characters. You will never see them."
Yeah. I mean, I eventually saw everybody except for Benny Bohr, who was so unpopular that they made a joke about how he wasn't on the show anymore. He'd gotten kicked up to management.
I actually did see that one. I saw him, and I remember thinking at the time, it was like, they made a whole character like this in a kid's show. Most of those characters were pretty superfluous, because I think that's the problem, is when you're like, we need to we're making an ensemble show, we need an ensemble. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
It's not really organically grown like a show like the Muppets.
Yes. I mean, the thing about the Muppet Show is that it is the final evolution of something that Jim Henson had been doing for about 25 years at that point. I mean, the Muppet Show evolved from all of his previous shows, including, if you ever watched the first season of Sesame Street, it's basically the Muppet Show. They sing like show tunes and stuff that aren't necessarily educational. It's just like we need to fill time.
Well,
and before that, there's all the times they appeared on Ed Sullivan and so forth, and when they were. And of course, Sam and Friends, where it all kind of got codified in the first place. But Sam and Friends really is lost media because so little of it was recorded. Basically, the only thing that exists of Sam and Friends is audio tapes that they lip synced to.
Oh, huh. Interesting. So. Well, I've never heard of Sam and Friends.
Oh, Sam and Friends was the very first Muppet program. It was a 5-minute show that aired at 5:25 and 11:25 after the news in Maryland. So, and it was a smash hit. And all it really was Jim Henson and his wife and a few other puppeteers basically lip syncing with these Muppets to songs that you would later get to know through Dr. Demento.
Oh, okay. I see why that would be a big hit, honestly.
Yeah. It was not they didn't do a lot of actual performances to start with, but as they got more and more comfortable with the puppets, they started recording their own material.
Well, okay, so that is the evolution of the Muppets. BB Beagle did not get the chance to really develop, so maybe that
BB Beagle did not evolve. It was created through spontaneous generation.
Yeah.
Like when you shake rice into old clothes to make mice.
Yeah. So maybe if it had stuck around, maybe it would have turned into something. But somehow, knowing that it's by Hanna Barbera, I kind of doubt it. Because Hanna Barbera is like, I mean, if you look at Hanna Barbera's output, it's just like a bazillion. Absolute bazillion is like we're just creating characters to create characters. It doesn't even seem like there's a point to it, you know. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, here's Wally Gator, here's Yacky Doodle, here's Mildew Wolf, here's Yakety Squiddly Diddly. It's like, why are you doing this? Is this some sort of OCD thing? You just have to keep creating new OCs, you know?
OCD OCs, yeah. And then, you know, and just when you thought it was over, then 1994 came along and world premiere tunes, aka What a Cartoon, and now it's like a bazillion new ones. Like, hey, here's Sledgehammer Opossum, here's O Rats, here's the Zoonatics.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, are we gonna have to remember these characters? Because that is the thing Hanna Barbera did. They would like make these characters, right? And then there's like, oh, you don't remember, you know, that classic cartoon character Lippy the Lion, who appeared in like 3 shorts. Well, guess what? He's back in Yogi's Treasure Hunt, and now he's back in Laugh Olympics. We will never retire any of these characters that are all exactly the same. A menagerie wearing cufflinks and ties without shirts, but like. But most of them are just like, look, we all know the only one that people care about is. There's a reason that the Laugh Olympics have the Scooby Doobies and the Yahoo Yogis, because those are the only 2 characters anyone cares about in Yogi and the whole Hanna Barbera stable, you know.